As I discussed in the last session, it is very important in the sense that it establishes a few things. So we have seen the largest, the oldest mandala, that is the sixth mandala, and then the third and seventh, that is the oldest portions of the Ṛgveda. It is very clearly mentioning some of the places. These are the oldest places mentioned in the Ṛgveda. They are all in the Kurukshetra region, that is in the northern Haryana. And there are two places very prominently mentioned is a Manusha, which is Manusha region, which is basically the region or the place related to Manu. That is there just 3.6 kilometers from the Kaital city in the Kurukshetra. And then you have Manu's daughter Ila's place that is located just 7 kilometers this side. So you have two places very prominently mentioned in the Ṛgveda as the oldest places which are very part of the oldest part of the Ṛgveda. They are there mentioned in along the Apaya river, which is a tributary of Saraswati. Here there is a river Saraswati here, and then the Apaya river is there like this. So very close to the Apaya river, these two places are mentioned. And the third one is indirectly implied because you have the three, the Bharati as the primary one of the primary goddesses, one of the triple goddesses mentioned in Apri Suktas, even in other Suktas as well. So you have three goddesses: Bharati, Ila, and Saraswati. Saraswati is represented like River Saraswati is here. When Apaya is a tributary and an older course of Saraswati, so Apaya river also represents the Saraswati. And so that significance is, you cannot wash away this significance. And anybody who says the Saraswati in Afghanistan, etc., the Farahpati river, etc., they don't have any kind of connection to say this kind of connections. There is no memory of any of this in Afghanistan or anything, and it's completely alien. It's a completely alien place, and all our tradition related to the worship, etc., everything is in the Haryana, the northern Haryana Kurukshetra region. And this is a little more larger kind of the same area. You can see here the Saraswati is a little more in a bigger found here, and then there is the older course of Yamuna that is flowing here, and then this is the Trishadvati river. Sorry, and this is the older course of Yamuna Yamuna. All these things we have discussed, and here is the Manusha. So in a bigger, if you look at in a bigger sense, this Manusha, you can see it here in the Manusha here, like that. And then we have this map where we have seen the little more larger area. So here you can see the Manusha here. Same Manusha, the Bharati Tirtha is here. So Bharati Tirtha is here. The Manusha, Laspada, and Bharati Tirtha, three sacred spots in the sacred places in the Kurukshetra region. And Kurukshetra itself is mentioned like represented as four corners. This four corners concept is similarly established in the Mahabharata, and it's not very clearly mentioned in the Ṛgveda, but these three places in the Vara Prithvya and Apha Prithvya that later became Kurukshetra is clearly mentioned, especially these two are direct mention and this is indirect mention. So these are all very clear. And I mentioned about the four corners of Kurukshetra guarded by Yakshas. So you have Tarantuka, Arantuka, Ramahtuka, and Majaktuka, the four corners of Kurukshetra. The first two corners are on Saraswati, the northern side. That is the Tarantuka and Arantuka are closer to Saraswati. Ramakruta and Machakruta are closer to Trishadvati, the southern tributary of Saraswati. And it is known as Pulisi, Raupya, Hariyupya, so many names for the Drishadvati. Saraswati have many names. Veerapatni, Sarapa, like that, or Urjayanti. These are tributaries, as well as because Saraswati being a dynamic river, so it had earlier flowed like these, then it flowed like this, so and then it flowed like this. So these tributaries were also some of the tributaries are also the ancient courses, ancient pathways through which channels through which Saraswati flowed. All these things are, it's a very dynamic river. And similarly, Yamuna was flowing like this in a western course. That is known as Yagyavati. And now the current course, Yamuna, is again known as Yamuna, etc. And the Ramakruta is basically the place related to Bhargava Rama in the 10th mandala. So I have to clear that. You have Bhargava Rama in the early mandalas, early Ṛgveda, Jamadagni, everybody is mentioned, and then you have a Jamadagni in the 10th mandala, and his son is the this Parshurama. There are two Bhargava Ramas, or two Rama Jamadagnyas we know from Ṛgveda. In the early Ṛgvedic period and in the 10th mandala, the last fragment of the Ṛgveda, out of which only the 10th mandala, this Rama, can be called as something like Parashurama, because he was fighting with Kshatriyas. All these things are related to the 10th mandala Parashurama. You have these three other places are like Yakshas, and in here there is a Yakshi also. All these are all part of the pilgrim circuit in the Haryana region. So all these things, anybody visit Haryana and do a Tirtha Yatra, 48 course parikrama, they will be able to see all these places. I think there are more than 100 places, Tirtha Yatra places, which you can visit. Like, and these are just 3 of them, and then another 4 of them, total 7 of them. That is how we have, that's the significance we have. And it's all of these are all connected to the early Ṛgvedic period, which completely, even that single statement, there are any invasion theory, or at least the fact that Ṛgveda is authored by Aryans from immediately, like coming from Afghanistan or southern Russia or Eastern Europe, none of them will be able to be hold any water. So all of them get completely demolished because of this single fact. And today we are a little bit moving into other regions, so that today talk will complete all the basic regions of the Ṛgveda. So whatever Varaprithvya or Mathaprithvya or Kurukshetra that we have shown here, it is in Haryana region. You can know this is the Haryana map. Many of you will be having it memory of the map of Haryana, and around 10% of it is the Kurukshetra. And when I say Kurukshetra, it's a region, because somewhere around here there is a city called Kurukshetra, where you have the Kurukshetra University, etc. The city is very small, but the region is very big between Saraswati and Drishadvati rivers. And now we are now moving to the Sapta Sindhu region, which is a very large region. So if you look at somewhere around here, Kurukshetra will be somewhere around here. Little northwest of it, you have the Sapta Sindhu region. And Sapta Sindhu, the name itself means 7 rivers. So the word Sindhu can also mean simply river. It may not always mean the Indus River. So Sindhu means river also. So because these are all the ancient river names, Apaya. These are all generic names of rivers also. So even you can see some other rivers mentioned as Apaya. So you have to understand the word Apaya can simply mean a river. So that's why they are using like that. And same for Sindhu. The Sindhu names are used for rivers. So in the Ṛgveda, there are unique cases where the word Sindhu is used to refer to Saraswati, etc. Apaya is used to refer to some other rivers in Ramayana, which I mentioned in my second book. So all these things are there. So these are all very, very ancient names of the rivers. The word Sindhu, there are 2 meanings for the word Sindhu in the Ṛgveda. One is any river, and another is exactly the Indus River. So we will understand it based on the context. So having said that, Sapta Sindhu means 7 rivers. So if you count here, there is Satluj here, Vipash here. So Satluj and Vipasha, that is Sudutri and Vipasha, the Ṛgvedic river names. There is Satluj and Bias. There are two rivers. You have Ravi River, which is mentioned in Mahabharata as Iravati and in Ṛgveda as Parishni. And we have this Chenab. And it is mentioned as Chandrabhaga in the Mahabharata and Asikni in the Ṛgveda. And we have Marudvrtha and Vidhasta. So these many rivers are there. So currently only you have Satluj, Bias, Ravi, Chenab, and Jhelum. So there are 5 rivers currently. If you look at them in the river map, you will see 5 rivers. And that is why instead of the word Sapta Sindhu, now we know that place as Punjab. And the Punjab, when India got divided, the Punjab got divided into 2 parts. So whatever part we got in India, that contained only 2 rivers. That is Satluj and Bias. Remaining 3 rivers, that is Ravi, Chenab, and Jhelum. This is going to Pakistan. So the larger Punjab is not this much area. The larger Punjab is around this much area. India got around maybe little bit 40% or 30% of it, and remaining is in the Pakistan. And they got 3 rivers, we got 2 rivers. So that is the Punjab. It is Sapta Sindhu itself. Because some rivers disappeared. The one river is Marudvrtha. That is the old channel of the Jhelum river. This blue color, slightly purple color I have shown here. This is the Marudvrtha channel, which got disappeared. It was a very temporary river, which was only available during the late Ṛgvedic period. Even this channel was not very active in the early Ṛgvedic period or in the middle Ṛgvedic period, and it got activated in the late Ṛgvedic period, that is 8th, 9th, and 10th Mandala period. It got activated, and after the Ṛgvedic period ended, this river got disappeared. I mean, the channel, because this is a slight river dynamic, because this is the main the Vidhasta Jhelum river. During the middle Ṛgvedic period, it was flowing like this, and this was the old channel of Sindhu river. The Sindhu river also had migrated slightly to the westward. The earlier course of the Sindhu river is this, slightly to the east. This was the earlier course of Sindhu. And the Vidhasta river coming from Kashmir, that is the Jhelum river, was flowing like this, flowing and just draining directly into the Sindhu river. So you have one channel like this in the middle Ṛgvedic period, and another channel like this in the late Ṛgvedic period. At some point, they were all there. I mean, these channels. When I say these channels, this will get water during the rainy season, etc. So if somebody start counting the rivers during the rainy season, they will count 7 rivers. So that is Satluj, Bias, Ravi, Chenab. Then these 3 channels of the Vidhasta river. So Marudvrtha and Vibali got counted, and Vidhasta also will get counted. So totally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rivers. So that is the Sapta Sindhu river. And it is the same as the Punjab river, Punjab area, whereas just 2 rivers got subtracted. So when 2 rivers subtracted from 7, it becomes 5, it's known as Punjab. And of course, some people, there is a kind of dispute on the counting of the rivers here. Some people say that these 2 channels are not activated at the same period. So they will count the Sindhu river also as a 7th river. But then it's fine. I mean, it's like slightly different, small difference in the definition of the region. Even this region also will get counted. And you count the Sindhu river as a 7th river. But more precisely, we have to be I mean, it's like a slightly kind of a definition problem. This area is the Sapta Sindhu area, in which our Punjab is included, and then most of the core area of Pakistan, the kernel area of Pakistan, is the Sapta Sindhu region. And we all know the significance of Sapta Sindhu because when you render this into this Avestan language, which is the sister language of the Vedic language, they use, instead of sa, they use ha. So Sapta Sindhu becomes Hapta Hindu. Hapta and Hindu. So Hindu word basically represent the Sindhu because they cannot pronounce sa properly. Like when the sa is there in the beginning of a word, they will pronounce it as ha. That is their the peculiarity of that language, the Asura language or the language of the Daityas and the Danavas. When they pronounce Sapta Sindhu, they will call it as Hapta Hindu. And from this Hindu, the word the Hindu become very popular. It was the name of a region basically, something like Punjab region, the greater Punjab region is called as Sapta Sindhu, but pronounced as Hapta Hindu by the Asuras. Now the Asuras means now this Asuras who are speaking Avestan, they went to Iran, so they are now known as the Iranians. They pronounce it as Hapta Hindu, etc. So from there, that is why from the Iranian Avestan language we got the word Hindu, and then that got applied to the region. That is the first transformation of the word Hindu. It was applied. Hindu means nobody knows that it is a religion or anything. Hindu just means this region, the region between Indus River and the Satluj, Bias River. This much area of region. Or you can simply define it as to the region to the east of Sindhu River is known as Hapta Hindu or Hindu, like that. And later, during the Islamic period, that it has also got the word was reused to define the religion of the people living in this area, and that is how the name Hindu got applied to our religion. That is how it has been. Two transformation. First, the river Sindhu, and based on that, region is defined as Hapta Hindu or the Hindu region, and from there, the people who are living in this region becomes identified as the people who are believing in the Hindu religion. So this is how it has all happened. And I think there is a huge difference between the Persian civilization and the Arabic-based Islamic civilization. The Persian has a very big distinction of being because its original root is very ancient. That root is in India itself, because the Iranians migrated from this region and went to Iran. They were all the speakers of Sanskritam or Vedic language and the Avestan language are all speaking both the language originated in almost in the same territory, and they were this is all like a dialect. The Avestan language will not say pure play or dialect, but very closely related sister language, and that is an Indo-European language. So it's the same language family of Vedic and this Avestan has same language, and Persian is the the daughter language of Avestan. So like Hindi derived Hindi or most of the Indian languages derived from Vedic Sanskritam. So Vedic Sanskritam first became the Prakrit language, and from Prakrit all the Indian languages in the North India that all created. Similarly, from the Western language, so many languages emerged, and out of that, the currently alive language is the Persian language. So that is how they are related. And then other region that is which is very important is the Kikata. There is a region. So it is this is Sapta Sindhu is in the northwest of this Varaprithvya, etc. You have a Kikata region. So how we came to know about that there is such a region is that when the Vishwamitra was the advisor to the King Sudas of the early Ṛgvedic period, he was also a military advisor. So he advised Sudas because he has already conquered the northwestern region up to the Ravi River, up to here. He has conquered up to here. So why not conquer this eastern side and defeat the people in this area? But Sudas was not very much interested. And so Vishwamitra went all by himself with his Kushika army, because Vishwamitra is a Kushika. So he went with, and then he. So the implication in the suttas, which are related suttas, is that subsequently Vishwamitra conquered this region, Kikata region, and there is an important because the Kikata region is also the homeland of the big Eastern civilization, like the Magadha civilization. So Magadhas, basically the Magadha king, Brihadratha is mentioned as a part of the Vedic culture. So these people were all in this region. The ancient kings, the ancestors of the Magadha kings had. I mean, if you trace the ancestry, they will be somewhere around here. So that is the significance of the Kikatas. And they were the earliest inhabitants of this between the Yamuna and the Ganga region. And this is old Kikada and new Kikada you can see here because after the Vishwamitra conquest, they moved to the east of Ganga. Then that is the difference. Otherwise, they were like this in this region. That is the Yamuna between Yamuna and Ganga. And after that, they just migrated complete to the east of Ganga, like that. And then you have the here this is the kind of a graph map which shows how the Vishwamitra is related. So Vishwamitra has living in the Varapatriya region. From there he went eastward, and then once he become strong in the Ganga region, he have given a new name to Ganga. That is the Jannavi, because Vishwamitra's ancestor's name is Jannavi. So Jannavi, when he gave the name Jannavi, what he means is the Ganga is the daughter of his ancestor Jannu. So from that the name Jannavi emerged, and it is there in the Ṛgveda. Very prominently, it is available in the third mandala of Ṛgveda. And again, two big names of Ganga, this particular river, Ganga and Jannavi, are recorded in the earliest Ṛgvedic period. So this conquest of Vishwamitra happened during the early Ṛgvedic period. That is happened. And similarly, here you can see the how it is. They have Vishwamitra's attack or the conquest of the Kikadas and how they started migrating, all the things. And this line, what it shows is the Sudas have a kind of a battle with the Yodus. Because as I mentioned, all the Panchajanas were living here. And the Puru branch or the Bharata branch, which is a sub branch of the Purus, they started dominating under Sudas, right? So some of the Yadus had to migrate southwards. And that is how they started established on the Mathura region, where they continued in this region for a long period. Krishna was the Yadava Krishna. Krishna was born in the Yadu lineage, all were here. So all these things happened. Here what you can see is how the Kikadas reached this Bihar region. Right? So there is a big history which is traceable. All this migration can be traceable by going into Ramayana and the Mahabharata. So some part of it is in Ramayana. So you will see some of the Magadha cities like Mahodayapura, Kavishambi, all these things mentioned in the Ramayana as little bit almost ancestors to the kings who were living. So the Girivaraja or Rajagriha or Girivaraja was the capital of Magadha, which we know very well. So Dharmaranya was another city. So these four cities, Mahodaya, Kaushambi, Dharmaranya, and Girivaraja, all mentioned in the Ramayana as a trail of migration from this region up to here. And Dharmaranya is a very famous, it is now known as Bodh Gaya, the Buddhist pilgrimage site. So that was known in the Sanskrit literature as Dharmaranya. And Girivaraja was the capital of Magadha for a long period of time until one of the kings, I think Bindusara, established Pataliputra, Patna here on the banks of Ganga. Till that time, it was the capital. In the Ramayana, this place is mentioned like the 10th Mandala Vishwamitra, that is not to be confused with the advisor of Sudas. Because in the Ṛgveda, you have a 10th Mandala composer named Vishwamitra. So he was he had a kind of long conversation with Sri Rama, right? It's an interesting thing. So from Ayodhya, this the 10th Mandala Vishwamitra came here in Ayodhya, and Rama and Lakshmana, they were all very small, maybe 12 to around 12 years of age, and then he took them and advanced archery, everything. Vishwamitra taught them all the archery, everything. The Vishwamitra was the military guru, the military, like you can say, he was the Acharya who taught Dhanurveda to Rama. The 10th Mandala Vishwamitra. So he took them and they traveled along Sarayu River. And then they go somewhere around here. They went to kill Tataka and all. And then he was talking about this Magadha region, where Vishwamitra mentioned about the Girivraja and all these cities like Mahodaya, Kaushambi, Dharmaranya, etc. to Sri Rama. All these things are there in the Ramayana. And in the Mahabharata, you have Krishna and Bhima from Indraprastha. Krishna, Bhima, and Arjuna, they traveled like this. And they went here into Girivraja, and then they killed Jarasandha. So he is a Magadha king. So Jarasandha's ancestor Brihadratha is there is a single reference of Brihadratha in the late Ṛgveda. It's quite natural to identify that Brihadratha with the ancestor of extreme and the old very ancestor of the Jarasandha. So they have a Vedic connection, but it is a very, very weak link. So that also we can get from comparing Ṛgveda with Ramayana and Mahabharata. So my book, The Rivers of Ṛgveda, it's a focus on the Ṛgveda, but anytime there is a kind of connection with Ramayana, it is mentioned. So this is all mentioned in the book in little more detail. And also the Jarasandha, killing of Jarasandha by Bhimsena. All these things are mentioned in the book. So that is how the Kikatas reached here in the eastern region of the Magadha. And this all happened after the Ṛgvedic period, because in the 10th Mandala, because the focus, Ṛgveda's focus on the Kikatas ended by the 7th Mandala. And in the 5th or in the middle Ṛgvedic period or in the late Ṛgvedic period, they have not focused on this particular people. So they all been recorded only in Ramayana and the Mahabharata. And so this eastward migration got recorded in the later portions of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. And very accurate, quite correspondingly, if you look at the archaeological records, all the archaeological excavated sites are all younger in the Bihar region compared to the Haryana region. In Haryana, you get archaeological records at 8,000 BC, 6,000 BC, 4,000 BC, etc. But here in the Bihar, so far we have got 1,500 BC, etc. So it's very, very late compared to our ancient history. Of course, 1,500 is good enough for 1,000 BC or 1,500 BC, etc. Good enough for Greek civilization, but for us, it's not very old actually. So that is how the situation we have.